Hi, hey, welcome to my channel. What I got here today is this Smith & Wesson Model 19. Now, I've got some history with this revolver, and we're going to take it out and shoot it. But before I do, I thought I'd share with you the story of this Model 19. It is a Model 19. It is a pinned and recessed cylinder. You can see the revolver's unloaded. This is the first revolver that I ever shot was the Model 19. I was about 13 years old. It would have put it probably over 50 years ago, half a century. This is not like the one this is the one that I shot 50 years ago. My friend, who you've all seen on my channel, Steve, had moved in next door where we were living. He was just married, and basically he was a hunter and a marksman, and he enjoyed shooting. So after dinner at nights, after he'd come home from work, I would hear him shooting this revolver, and I had a habit of going over after dinner to just see what was going on. And after a few times going over, he said, "Would you like to shoot it?" And I said, "Well, boy, that would be, I never had shot a revolver before, never shot any pistol before." So, yeah, I had shot the thing my very first time. It was a little scary, but he was shooting wad cutters, like the 38 Special, like you see here, and not a whole lot of recoil, and it was a lot of fun to shoot. We lived way out in the woods, and he had a backstop made out of plate steel that we would shoot into, and it was a great time. So, I mean, as the story goes, every night when he got home from work, if he was shooting, and I would be eating my dinner at the table, and if I had heard the shots ring out, I would immediately finish eating dinner as fast as I could and ask my mother if I could go over and, shoot the revolver. And, she always said, "Sure, go ahead." So it wasn't really that big of a deal back then. But yeah, so this is it. This is the Model 19. This is a -3, and we'll go over that. But let's go out and take a few shots. We're going to be shooting some wad cutters, and hey, you can see how that goes. Ooh, this bullseye's smoking it up today. That one a little low. Take it. Hey, we're back. You can see the revolver is amazingly accurate for a 50-year-old gun. This is the target. For well within an inch, and I think I dropped one low here, but 1.3 inches. So these things shoot phenomenal. This is basically this exact load that I would have been shooting out of that revolver, or close. It's a bullseye powder. It's about 3 grains of bullseye powder. It's 148 grain Lyman mold, and that's how I got to casting. He had a pot, and I guess we just kind of started together. I was, he was in his 20s, and I was, in my teens, and we just kind of figured it out, and we've both been casting ever since. And I remember he had a lubricizer, and I had gone through that process with him, and of course, I had pretty much copycatted everything he had over the years. He got, he had a lubricizer, I got one, and that's kind of how it worked. But hey, we're going to take the revolver out, and we're going to shoot 5 more, and it's going to be jacketed bullets. Now this revolver doesn't shoot jacketed bullets very often, so we're going to take it out just to see how it does, and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. You can see that, other than I think one that I dropped, and, it's just shooter error, but this is what I was shooting. These are, you can see in the picture too, these are 140 grain jacketed hollow point Hornady bullet. And I have about 15 and a half grains of 4227 underneath that. And you can see it's not a ton of recoil, but hey, it did really well on the target. Here it is. You can see the 5 shots here, 4 within an inch, and then I had pulled one, the very last one, or I think it was the last shot, but I pulled that, and I could feel, sometimes on a revolver you go to squeeze up on it, and you can almost feel yourself pulling yourself down off the target. It's not really, for me, because the recoil is so light on these. It's not really anticipation of recoil more than it is when you get when you're actually taking that shot and you get it right where you want to. You're gonna want to hurry up and shoot that, get it where you want it. And sometimes when you do that, you'll pull the gun down into the left. Usually that's what happens. So the 19.3. The -3, there were a few changes since the Model 19 come out. It was called the registered Magnum for a while, and then designated in the 60s the Model 19. Like I said, this is a pinned and a recessed cylinder, and the 3 changes that they had made were very, very minor. One of them would have been the grips. Had the diamond, the first, they had the diamond in here, and I think I have something here I can show you. Yeah, right here. This would have been similar. This is their classic series. So you can see that it had the diamond in the middle of the grip. So that was a change. The other thing would have been where the screw was in the rear sight. And some people say they had pinned the front sight on, but I don't know really if that's true. But one of the other changes is they did make a 3-inch barrel, which is kind of a rare handgun to get. But it was very insignificant changes. They didn't start taking away the counter bore and the other things until later in production. But yeah, so. This is the revolver that I had shot, 50 years ago. I was lucky enough to ask him if, I've known him all these years, if I could shoot it and put it on the channel for you guys to see. And you can see that these handguns are amazingly accurate, even at a half a century old. And this thing has had thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds for it. I know there's some concern about shooting wad cutters in these revolvers, or 38 specials in the revolvers, and there's some truth to that. If you shoot a lot, if you shoot hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of rounds, you don't clean it or whatever, you can form a carbon ring, or literally you can pit the cylinder where you're going to have problem putting 357 rounds in it. But that's just not the case with this revolver. So, while we did, and he did shoot it quite often, as you know, as the years went by, you got a 44 Magnum and different revolvers that he would shoot, so it took a lot of pressure off this old girl. But I sure am happy to have been able to shoot this after all these years. It was a joy. And you'll notice that the shroud, I mean, the K models, they say the forcing cone, there's you can see, I don't have a picture of it, but there's a little flat spot on the forcing cone in these things. And they were prone, I guess, to cracking if you shot, very heavy Magnum loads out of it a lot. But this is a target gun that for us, and really never seen any hard recoiling 357s. And I think probably the round that I shot out of it's probably the highest pressure round the revolver's ever seen. It shot. Steve did shoot it indoors in the pistol leagues, and I believe he shot wad cutters, but he put them in 357 Magnum cases. So I think that I believe it has lower pressure when you're using the bigger case. So if you're using the same load, and bullseye is really not too position sensitive, so it works pretty good in this. That's pretty much all I have to say about the Model 19. I appreciate you joining me. I appreciate those that have supported my channel. And just a reminder, there's no fees or charges to subscribe to the channel. Hit a like, leave me a comment if you have a Model 19, if you're familiar with these revolvers, if you'd like to have one or whatever. I'd like to hear from you. So with that, you guys, I appreciate all the support. And those of you who subscribed, I really appreciate that too. So I'll see you again next week, and hey, you guys have a great day.